Hey YouTube, it's Dave here again, and welcome to my next video. Today I'm just going to be talking about the role of breath work in energy work. So I've definitely had a lot of experience with this. I've practiced a lot of things. Some things didn't work and others did. And I just want to go over sort of what my experiences are, share my knowledge with you, and hopefully that helps. So yeah, breath work and energy work. There definitely is a very strong link between your breathing and the flow of energy in your body. There is a natural rhythm. You take about maybe like 500 million breaths in your lifetime, and every time you breathe, that affects the flow of energy in your body. When you breathe in, the energy naturally follows your air down into the lungs. So when you breathe in, the energy flows down, generally the front of the body and down the front channel. And when you breathe out, the energy naturally pushes up the spine and around, and that creates sort of a circuit around the body. Now, most people aren't going to feel this if they're not paying attention or sensitive to energy, but it does happen at a very subtle level. But when you get into energy work and alchemy and kundalini and qigong, any type of energy work, you start to enhance the flow and purify and strengthen that energy so it magnifies and becomes a very, very, very strong sensation. It's very unmistakable. And so when you do the breath work, you can sort of help what the energy wants to do naturally, and I should emphasize that you want to assist the energy, not control the energy. I think that's a key point to make, because the mind automatically jumps in and says, okay, well, if I'm breathing out and the energy goes up the spine naturally, if I breathe out harder and I breathe out faster, then I can push more and more energy up the spine. And I think this is a very not only ineffective, but just wrong. It's not a good approach to take. It is definitely one where you are trying to force the energy in the direction and in the motion that the mind thinks that it needs to go, and that, in my experience, is almost always not the case and is almost always wrong and actually slows your process down. So with the flow of energy, you have a channel that runs up the right side of your spine, from the right side of your perineum, so the root chakra, up the right side of the spine, up the back of the head, and goes down to the right nostril. You also have another energy channel on the left side of the spine that goes up and around, and it goes down to that nostril. And so this is part of what connects your breathing to your energy channels. So if you close one nostril and you breathe out through your left nostril only, that can actually enhance the flow of energy up that left channel beside the spine. And you can do the same on the other side by closing the other nostril, and breathing will enhance the flow of the energy up the other channel, the right side of the spine, to the right nostril. However, it is my experience that this is actually something that really shouldn't be done a lot, or if it should be done, it's done moderately and gently, not strong, not forceful. So you can really mess up your physiology if you do not know what you're doing, and you can also cause yourself a lot of pain. I was practicing with some things like that for a while, and the energy would shoot up one side of the spine, and so it works, but then it would hit a spot and I would put too much energy into a spot, and my arm would just go dead for a day and a half, because the pain was so strong and so unbearable. It would just radiate down my whole shoulder and arm. So things like that happen, and if you don't have a teacher or someone to help you navigate through that, which a lot of people don't these days because they're in lockdown, or you just learn what you see on the internet and try it yourself, yeah, you can mess yourself up quite a bit if you're doing that kind of stuff. So the forced breathing and forced rapid breathing. There's some people will do a technique called breath of fire. Again, I don't really, if it's forced and rapid, I don't really agree with this too much. And here is my reasoning and rationale behind it, is that your health and your vitality determine to no small part how much energy flow happens in your body. I think people get wrapped up in the energy work, maybe tend to forget about the health of the body and how that is relevant to the process. And so when you have a body, like your entire physiology is geared towards bringing oxygen to the cells. That is what keeps you energetic and healthy and strong on a physical level. Excuse me. And the more oxygen you can bring to the cells, the more that liberates your life force to flow around your body as it needs to. And it goes the opposite way. When you have less oxygen delivered to the cells, that creates a fight or flight response in the body. And when that fight or flight response is initiated, your energy system just contracts and it doesn't flow, and the energy is conserved, which makes sense because you're not getting enough oxygen to your cells. And so when you do a lot of forced, rapid exhale breathing, you're breathing out and you're breathing out and you're breathing out and you're pushing. You're not breathing any oxygen into the body, which is what it needs to liberate energy. And when you shallow breath, you actually breathe a little bit. I mean, you can kind of control it through your belly, but regardless, a shallow breathing creates a stress response in the body, which also, in my experience, just inhibits the flow of energy. So you have to breathe in a way that is in alignment with keeping your health and vitality strong and your physiology strong and bringing more oxygen to the cells. And so what that means is deep, deep inhaling and rhythmic breathing that's slow and relaxed. I have always found this to work a little bit better, not a little bit better, a lot better, because the other thing is when you breathe fast, your mind races, and as soon as your mind starts to race, you go into a stress response and you're not in that calm, relaxed state that you need to have to get in tune with and feel the energy flow. So I do like Wim Hof breathing. That's a good one. It doesn't have to be that one, but lots of deep breathing in and using breath work to help the body adapt to bringing more oxygen into the tissues, which means a breath hold is fine, because when you hold your breath, your body responds by adaptation to put more mitochondria in your cells and help allow your ability to get more oxygen and use more oxygen at the cellular level, is what I'm trying to say. So deep breathing, breath holds are fine. Slow and rhythmic breathing. When you reach certain states of mind in your meditation, if you're quite deep into it and quite focused on the energy, sometimes what will happen is natural, spontaneous breathing patterns. So if this happens, that is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This has happened to me a lot of times where I'm just laying there and all of a sudden a natural breathing, just odd patterns that don't really make any sense will come up. This is part of the process, and this is part of how deeply connected your breathing is to your energy body. And when that happens, just let it happen. Even if you don't know what's going on, that's fine. This whole mechanism kind of runs itself. It doesn't need to. Too much interference or help with the mind, like I said, you want to help assist what's happening, not force it or control it. And so when you do some of the breathing that is forced or controlled, or you're trying to control what nostril is, your physiology is affected. And so when you breathe through your right nostril only, you actually stimulate the body. You energize it you create a sympathetic nervous system response in the body. And when you breathe only through your left nostril, it has the opposite effect. You create a parasympathetic response in your body with your nervous system, and your body becomes more relaxed, more calm, but also more cool. So the temperature, you can heat or cool your body according to what nostril you breathe through. However, once again, I'll just give my example for, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. I had energy running up the right side of my spine for quite a long time through my process, and my mind just kept going, well, it's not even, they got to be even if it's going up the right side of the spine, and why is it not going up the left side of the spine? And so I started doing all this nostril breathing to get the energy to move up the other side of my spine, which it did, but it actually brought me severely into more imbalance. It was only going up the right side of my spine for probably a good year and a half, because that's what it needed to do. And anytime I tried to correct it by evening them out, I made myself worse. And so finally I just kind of just let it go. And that was one of my final moments of surrender, where I was just like, just let the energy do what it's gonna do. There's so much more going on here than you realize. There is a pattern over time that does sort of emerge. But you just don't know what that is, because this is clearing your energy system in your physical body at such a deep level. Your conscious mind can't really comprehend or grasp what's going on. Yeah, so the other thing I noticed is there are some things that happen when you do rapid or forced breath work. There's physical mechanism. When you exhale forcefully, your perineum, the muscle at the just underneath the base of your spine, pushes upwards. And when you do that, pushing upwards, it can help increase the flow of energy up. Again, that doesn't mean you should, but it does work as a mechanism. What I noticed was the body will create this the energy body will create this mechanism on its own when it needs to, and it does that through sneezing and coughing fits. And what I would feel is the energy would go up to all the way up right to my nostrils, and it would like just tingle and tickle in my nostrils so much that it would force me to sneeze. And not just one or two sneezes, like 13 or 14 or 15 sneezes. And every time you sneeze, that perineum muscle just pushes up and pushes up and pushes up, and that helps push the energy up. So your energy body can do that when it needs to, and it will do that when it needs to. And the other thing is the coughing fits. I feel the energy go up this inside of the body right to the throat and the back of the throat, and just it would just have that, you get that kind of rough tickly sensation in the back of your throat. And the same thing, it would force coughing fits. But the same thing is when you do forced breathing, the diaphragm and diaphragm contraction can help push the energy up, which there are some techniques out there that do that. But when the energy goes up to the throat and forces a coughing fit, you feel that deep contraction of your diaphragm pushing the energy up anyways. So anything that you can do in a breathing technique that is brought up by the mind, the energy system can just do anyways on its own. And it will do it when it needs to do it. You just have to trust that. And getting your mind, wrapping your mind around that is actually pretty, that's what takes a while, is learning to trust and to surrender to what is happening with the energy moving through your body and just letting it do what it needs to do. So the last thing, I guess, is back to the nostril breathing, is that when you do that, when you force breath only through one nostril and you're super heating or super cooling or stimulating or relaxing your body, I didn't finish that point, just to continue on with that, is that if you're going to do any type of nostril breathing, a lot of the times you'll find that you can, even before you go into it, you can only breathe through one nostril. This happens quite a lot in that You try and take a deep breath, and one side will just be clogged anyways. That is your energy system keeping that door shut so more energy can go up the other side of your spine. That is intentional from your energy system. It's got its own mechanism. So if you find one nostril is closed and you're like, I gotta open this up and move the energy up the other side, don't do that. Just let it be as it is. And if you actually want to do some nostril breathing, the best thing to do is either do it when both nostrils are open and even anyways, because that is your natural state. When you close one and then close the other and breathe, it's not going to adversely affect what you're doing. But if you want to keep it even and you start nostril breathing and you can't because one side is closed, just do the one side only. And then later on in the day, when you notice that the other side has naturally opened up, then do it on that side only. And that way you're naturally going with what is happening anyways, because your energy system and your body work together to close or open each nostril according to how the energy needs to flow in your body. You don't have to correct anything. It's not wrong if one is closed and one is open. That's just what it needs at the time. Yeah, so that's it. That's sort of my experience with breath work. You just want to use deep rhythmic breathing that's slow and relaxed to quiet the mind and oxygenate the body. And get you into that relaxed state. And what you want to do is not force the energy in up any channel or down any channel. You just want to oxygenate the body enough to liberate energy for its own use and to let it move as it needs to move in its own direction, in its own way, when it wants to and how it wants to. And that has seemed to be the best thing for my process that I've noticed. So thank you very much for watching, very much appreciated. And if you have any questions or comments, drop one below, and much love to everyone. Thank you and take care.